So here we have the war in Syria going on, and the United States wants to just jump into it and get involved. Not too long ago, Great Britain had a vote in Parliament, and they chose not to go to war. What should actually be done properly in a democratic society, how it should be run actually is how I would see it, rather than what we have right now. That's a whole nother thing. Obviously people are going to get killed, and they're being killed right now, and it's a horrible, tragic thing. I mean, it's horrible whenever someone or a large amount of people are dying, but there's really no definitive evidence that it was Assad's regime or it was the Syrian government itself that perpetrated these attacks on its citizens. It's very ironic that the entire world is saying that it was the Syrian rebels, and the United States government is specifically saying that it was Assad and it was the Syrian government who did these attacks on its citizens, on its people. We should also consider that this is the same exact, federal government that claimed that babies in incubators were dying in the early 1990s to get into the Kuwait War. Now, whether you agree with the Kuwait War or not, the point is we lied about that, and it really shows that. There's hundreds of incidents where the United States government has lied directly to its citizens, blatantly, and that just goes to show, the government cannot be trusted. Anyone who knows anything about history knows that the main government, you can't trust the government, and the government is essentially the people's enemy. The more power they have, the less privileges, the less power that the people have. And we really need to look deeper into this. We need to find out if it really was the Syrian government. And if it was, then maybe we should get involved. But first thing is first, we need to take this every single step at a time. We need to find out who it was that did these attacks. I mean, there's some evidence here and there, but we need to accurately pinpoint why or why not it was this person or that person who did these attacks. I mean, politicians essentially, especially in the United States, they have an agenda to push. People don't really realize this. People are just very gullible these days, and they believe a lot of things that they see on TV. If they even watch the news on mainstream television anyways. And even if they do, that's a lot of misinformation and skewed bias points with a lot of limitations as well. Not that the internet doesn't have that. The internet is just more diverse, and you can get several different aspects and viewpoints and perspectives that you would not be able to get on television. But, it's a horrible thing, and I think people really need to look deep into this, and they really need to think. And it's great if you disagree with me, because you might be thinking for yourself, rather than just regurgitating information, or rather than just, being gullible and just going with the flow, and going with the sheep and the rest of the crowd, and just saying, I just believe whatever the government tells me.